Hi, Elvina here, and I'm just coming back to show you a quickie, fun watercolor. It's been all the rage. Lots of people are doing it. I believe it's called alcohol watercolor. I'm not sure, but you need to use Stampin Blends with this. You need alcohol-based markers, and you need alcohol that's at least 90%. So as you can see, I got some that's 91%. Poured a little in my jar over here. So I've got some right there. And then you need some vellum cardstock. Okay. Now, then you also need to put it on cardstock, which usually it looks best on white, but you can also use colored, as you'll see in one of my cards. Let's see, so vellum cardstock, your white cardstock, and then the painters, if you haven't put any water in them. I have water in mine. I've been watercoloring for another YouTube video. So I set those aside, and I have lots of Plano brushes. So I'm just using a Plano brush for the alcohol part. And then you need some Stampin' Seal, which I went and used up, threw away my refill, and then, of course, I need to order. So I'm going to have to resort to the snail, which will work just fine too. And then any dies or accessories as you want to design your card. But for the basic project, it's really simple. You take your vellum cardstock, pick your colors of blends, and I'm using the dark shaded spruce, the dark just jade, and the dark calypso coral. Okay, and I'm going to color on here. This is what takes a little bit of time. I should have probably started already, but you just want to fill it in with some color. I'm going to color here and there on this paper because I'm going to add the other colors in here too. This is the lightest one. Okay, let me get this out of the way here. Anyway, I decided I was going to try and have a class here, but they're working on our road, not just we live on a corner, and they're working not just on our main drag out in front, but they're also working on the side road. So getting to our house is a little bit of a challenge. So see, I'm coloring in between, trying not to overlap. I might overlap a little bit, but I'm trying not to. Okay, I color some here. And I'm sorry, the coloring underneath kind of shows through, so it's a little bit misleading. Okay, let's see, we need more. Let's put another one down here. I'm just coloring on paper because I'm sloppy and I'm going fast, and sometimes I go off the paper, so vellum is hard to see the edge. So let me just color. You want to get a bunch on here. And once you're done scribbling, then you can move on to the next step. Let's see, I need to have a little green over by this. I'll put a little more calypso over here. As you can tell, I'm not being real careful. Let me add a little bit more of this here. Okay, there. Now, that's done. And so when I turn it over, you can see kind of how it looks. And let me just put the white behind it. Okay, you could have that for a background. But this is what makes it really fun. Okay, so here's my alcohol. And I'll take my brush. I dip it in there. Tap it on the side. And you know what? This is why I have my paper towel out here. I just want this here so I don't get my paper all wet. And then I just dab little dots, and as you watch, you'll see the circles start to form. You want to overlap your colors, and I probably should have had my colors overlap a little more, but we'll see. I just want to do this all over, so I'm just going to go kind of quickly here. Dab, dab, dab. I think you can see what I'm doing. Dab, dab. See how those circles are forming? Just makes for a cool background. I just thought this was fun, and it's pretty quick and easy. And every card you make is going to be a little different from the previous card because you just don't know how the circles are going to go and how the alcohol is going to run. Now you could drag your brush across it. I've tried that. I didn't like how it turned out. So that's up to you. If you want to try dragging your brush, here, let me just do one at the bottom here. I'll do it on the bottom edge because I'll probably cut that off. Then you can kind of see it kind of tends to muddy the colors, but you'll see a little bit when we dry it. Okay, so now I've kind of run the colors all over here. Let's see. Looks like I could put another little dot there. Maybe get a little better dot there and another dot there and there. Okay, and then it's kind of wet. But this is alcohol, so it's going to dry. So I could just let it air dry, or I can take my heat tool and dry it. So this is my heat tool. I'm just going to hold it up kind of high, right by the phone. I'm sorry, so it's probably going to be loud. Let me just see if I can just do this real quick. But I want you to see what happens when you use the blow dryer. It moves the colors around. It moves the ink around, I should say. So if you don't want it to do that, then you better let it air dry. If you don't care, then you can blow dry. There, sorry about the noise. I just kind of held it up kind of high, not too close, and let it dry. Okay, this doesn't look like all that much just yet. I see it's still a little bit wet now. Let me flip it over. All right, now see, look at that cool background, and see, I like this design better than I like the but you know, it just depends on what you want it for. Okay, so then what you do is you stick it on your white. When you add it to the white, that makes it stand out. Oh, I just love that, don't you? Okay, here, so now let me really quickly, I just want to make sure this is dry. I'm going to just run this a little bit. There's a couple little wet spots in there. Let me just run that for a second. Okay, so then I just put tape on it. Get this out of the way here. And just put tape on the side that you colored with. And you know how vellum is touchy with it showing through, but it doesn't seem to bother with this. Okay. And then I'll stick it on my card. And it probably doesn't hurt if you cut the piece a little bit bigger, because then you don't have to worry about getting it on exactly straight. There we go. Now you have got a base to build your card from. So let me show you a sample. Okay, here's one. Now, if you want to notice, this is, if you can tell, this is the seafoam cardstock. So I did not put it on white. I put it on seafoam. I used, I believe, Poppy Parade, Shaded Spruce, Granny Apple, and the Granny Apple will look kind of light in some places, almost like seafoam. So I mounted it on seafoam. And then, because I trimmed it down, I had a couple extra pieces, so I just stuck them on the inside. Huh, how cool is that? Very simple card to send off to someone. Very quick and easy. Just a fun card. Now, you don't have to just use it as a background. You can also die cut it. So this could be, you could put die cuts on here and run it through. I did this with all the fish and the coral. This is vellum that was colored just like I did, only I used daffodil and Bermuda Bay and Pool Party, I believe, and there's a little bit of green in there too. And then I had lots of extra pieces, so I cut the fish out. Same way with the coral. I wanted that to be kind of bright, so I made sure I got some of the Poppy Parade in there. On the inside I had leftovers. Because the fish are small, you can kind of decide where you want them. Here, let me just show you. This is what I used. This is my coral that I cut out, and then I positioned a fish there and a fish there and a fish there, so I could get my specifically colored fish. Okay, so that's another way you can use this. Okay, and then here, this is probably my favorite. This is with the strawberries. Anyway, what I did was, this is, again, shaded spruce, granny apple, and poppy parade. I put it on white cardstock, and as you can see, it's been cut out, die cut with the ornate frames. And then I put it on granny apple. And again, I had a little piece left over, so I stuck it on the inside. But I want to show you what I did with the strawberries. Since I was putting them on a kind of a watercolor background, I thought they should look kind of watercolory too. So let me show you what I did with them. I took the Poppy Parade and I stamped the outline. Okay, so I've got my, I'm just going to use this scrap here to show you. Okay. Stamped my strawberry. Then I took the solid part of the strawberry, inked it. I stamped it off, which means I stamped it on another piece of paper. So I stamped some of it off, and then I spritzed it. Now I don't want to spritz it on top of everything here, so let me get what I need. Okay, so I just spritzed it a little bit there, so you can see it's kind of running a little bit. And now I'm going to put it on top of here. So when I go to lay it down, I think you can see there. So you get a little bit of a watercolor look. I did the same thing with the leaves. I stamped the outline leaf. Here, I'll do that right here. And then I did the second one with the same color. Again, stamped it off. And again, spritzed it just a little. There. Make sure I hit the right spot there. And line this up, which is a little tricky when I'm looking through the camera here, kind of. Okay. And then there's a punch that goes with this set. So then I punched it out. Okay. And that's how I got my strawberries, my leaves, and my little stems for my strawberries on this card. So there you go. This didn't take long at all. A quick and easy way to do a background for any kind of a background, or to do fun with your die cuts. Okay, let me just set the 3 cards out here again. See if we can show you what you need, remind you what you need. You need vellum cardstock, basic white cardstock or colored, water painters or brush, Stampin Blends, any color of your choice, alcohol that's at least 90%, Stampin' Seal so that you can stick them together, and then your dies, stamp sets, accessories as needed to make your cards. Okay, thanks for looking. Bye.